Hello everyone, welcome back to the kitchen table. Today on the kitchen table we've got a little bit of a review of a product that I've been sent, a little kind of accessory that maybe is a good thing to keep in your flight case or in the car. But before we go any further, can I just apologise about the state of my voice? As you can see, I've caught something and it's getting worse and worse, so by the end of this film I apologise if I'm starting sounding like Barry White. I'll try and keep it going. It's quite sore, so I'd better... It's my kitchen table, and it's very traditional in my videos that we have a beverage to help us ponder the things that we talk about, and this one's going to be very medicinal, so let's just introduce it. It is the, let's get the light, it's going to focus. It's the VAT 71 Reserve Shiraz from South Australia. A handcrafted limited release ancient vine cuvee, and very, very, very nice indeed it is too. So 2013. Cheers. Oh, ease the throat. Yes, so I was approached a few weeks back by a company called DB Power, who are basically selling these things on Amazon in the UK. It's also available in the US and everywhere else, obviously. But they approached me and said, look, we've noticed that you've reviewed similar things in the past. Can we send you one, no strings attached, and just see what you think? Which is cool, because that's the kitchen table ethos. If you want to send me stuff, you have to just, you know, don't put any strings on it. And so they did, and it's a USB power supply. And then one of the reasons why I always carry one of these around is because if you're flying, you know, one of the Visions, you may have some things that, you know, you need batteries charging up for, like your phone or your tablet if you're using it to get the downlink on. If you've got a new V3 with the new transmitter and your transmitter starts to drain out power, one of these can get you, you know, if everything else is going great but your transmitter's running out, it's rechargeable. It's not like you can pop some fresh AA's in like the old one. This can keep you going. And it's obviously useful for your phone and anything else. The thing that my eyebrows raised at when they sent this was the price. This is going on Amazon UK at the moment, fulfilled by Amazon, for £13 delivered. And it's on Amazon in the US for $15 delivered. Yet again, over here we get stitched up, but never mind. I'll put links down in the description there if you want to go and check out those where they are. So this is a 10,000 milliamp hour USB power supply from OXA. I don't know. They proudly say on the back, designed in California, made in China, of course. OXAUSA.com. And I was kind of, you know, what on earth, when I opened this up, what on earth are you going to get for 13 quid? A 10,000 milliamp hour is pretty reasonable. I'm quite impressed. So obviously you get, you know, as you'd expect, you get this power pack unit. With the screen, which surprised me, the torch that they all seem to be carting these days. You get this nifty little, quite clever little lead, which is probably surplus to requirements for most people, but we'll look at that because that's quite clever. An almost slightly unreadable manual for two reasons. One, the print is microscopic. This is never going to focus. Oh, there you go. Microscopic. And it's kind of... it doesn't have a start or a finish, but it's not difficult really. You know, when you get it, put it on charge overnight, as you should do with all excuse me, all rechargeable devices, and then you're good to go. And bizarrely it came with like this fake velvet pouch with this fake little, you know, glass bead kind of clasp, which is quite dainty. But, you know, if you want to protect your USB power supply or use that for something else, you can. Yeah. So the first thing is size. I mean, here's my Nexus 5 phone. So, you know, it's about the same, you know, width. Obviously depth is not, you know, you're looking at 2.5 times. It's not a million miles off. I would say pack of playing cards, very slightly wider and very slightly taller than a pack of playing cards, but, you know, about that kind of size. Pocket, I'd still say pocket size. Weight, it's not going to be light, obviously, because there's a battery in there. We're looking at 223 grams, but that's not excessive. It's quite solidly put together. It's obviously plastic, and you can see where the sides are joined, but you know, they're joined well. There's no gaps. I can't get my fingers into anything. It's got a torch here, double press. It took me a while. In fact, I'm not even sure if it was in the instructions. I think I found out by trial and error that if you press this twice, you get a LED torch, which may or may not be useful to you. Press it twice, it goes off, and you get the screen, which kind of sits there and doesn't do anything until you plug something in. Oh, there you go. Or you press and hold like I did. And if you press and hold, you get a readout. Can we see? Let's come over here. 25% percentage charge. The other bits there, the screen isn't defective. I thought I had a defective screen. They're just fading out because those come into play when you plug something in. So at the moment, as you can see, they faded out, and what it's saying is 25% left and out. So in other words, it's ready to send out. On the front, 3 ports. This is really difficult to see. They've kind of embossed it in, and it's very shiny plastic, and you know. But the good thing is the screen will tell you if you've plugged it into the wrong one. So you've basically got a 2.1 amp output, 5 volts, and a 1 amp output, 5 volts, and an input, standard USB, 5 volts for charging it up. And it also comes with this kind of multi-purpose cable. So one end, standard USB connector. On the other end, you've got the ubiquitous now micro USB, which of course you can then plug into this to put it on to charge. But it also comes with old style and newer style Apple connections as well. So if you are somebody, and I know lots of you do, if you've got an iPhone as your phone of choice, but you're using an Android tablet for getting FPV down on your aircraft, for example, one cable and you're sorted. Then you won't have to kind of carry 2 if you don't want to. So I thought it was quite a nice touch. They've made it white, obviously. So yeah, you've got everything that you need in the pack. Performance wise, kind of charges your stuff up, really. Like I say, you plug in and the screen pops up and tells you backlit what the percentage is. Really useful. I've had ones in the past where you've just got like some LEDs, a bit like the Phantom, and if you've got one LED showing, does that mean 25% left or does it mean 4% left? Because that's the difference between getting some, getting another couple of hours of talk time out your phone or not. So that I think is quite useful. And then when you plug in, it's the digital display will tell you whether you're plugged into the 2.1 or the 1 amp or both. So I did some tests on it. I find that on my Nexus 5 I can get a good solid 3 full charges out of it at 10,000 milliamp hours without a problem. I did a bit of a rough and hard test on it the other day with the Nexus 7. I waited till my 7 went down to 15% power, which is when the power warning comes on. And I left it on standby. I didn't switch it off. I left it on standby, plugged it into this and let it churn away. When this was at 99%, let it churn away, and it ended up being fully charged, and this was down at 30%. Now this is a just under 4,000 milliamp hour battery in there. This is a 10,000. So yeah, you're going to get 1 1/3 charges of a tablet. Because I left it on Wi-Fi and everything else, it was in standby, but it was still doing that. I suspect that actually that's looking reasonably likely that you can get the full 10,000 milliamps out of it, at least initially. Like all batteries, they will deteriorate over time, as we know with our Phantoms. But for 12 or 13 quid, I can't really say anything else about it other than it kind of does seem to do the job that it says. Input is 1 amp. It does take a fair amount of time to charge up. I'd say 8 hours, 8 to 9 hours. So it's an overnight job to get it back into its full state, really. That was a sort of the downside. Other than that, the plastic on the covering of the screen is a bit scratchy. It's easy to mark. But like I said, I'm picking hairs here for 13 quid, really. Goodness knows what they're actually turning them out of the factory for, but it does the job. So that's the OXA, the OXA, more juice, more life. 10,000 milliamp, yeah, from DB Power in the UK, also fulfilled by Amazon, also available from Amazon in the US. Links down below. That's it. My voice is giving out, as you can tell. I was going to do another 2 or 3 videos this evening, but I'm not sure I'll be able to. So I think we're going to call it a day while the going's good. So Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy the videos and appreciate the time I put in to help people answering questions and helping out and so on and so forth, if you'd like to sort of support the channel and keep me able to produce all this stuff free to you guys, then please consider looking at supporting either via Patreon. There's a link on the channel outro screen in a second that you'll see that you can click, or down below in the description there's a PayPal link if you want to make a one-off donation. As you know, I'm not particularly kind of forceful about all that kind of stuff, but yeah, there are some changes going on in YouTube land which I might mention in a future video. That all your support is always appreciated. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me on the kitchen table, and until next time, cheers.